During your time here at BW, have you ever experienced a situation or instance of discrimination?
I don't think so. I think the aspects of our cultural environment in terms of Cleveland are felt around the greater Berea area.
Yes.
Sadly, I feel like yes, I have.
A lot of things nowadays aren't really like outwardly discrimination. It's more of like microaggressions and different things like that.
I did. My first year at BW, I had a teacher who was kind of notorious for being racist.
I see it more in an academic kind of way, being that not only do you not see a lot of women in STEM, but Lord behold, do you see a lot of black women in STEM? Or if you do, if you don't see them on the forefront.
Micro little things that, just little ignorant things that are being said.
Another coworker said that his girlfriend was black, and he pulled up a picture of her, and she goes, "Oh, it's a colored girl," but then also touches me when she says it, and I'm just like. He would just, in class, he would just say kind of really offhanded remarks that were pretty offensive.
For me, it was like the insecurity of, am I enough? Am I smart enough to be in this room?
Questioning my knowledge, questioning if I know what I'm doing, questioning oh, she don't know, she's dumb. Whoa, pause.
Small little things that you don't exactly get when it first happens, when it's first said, and then a couple minutes later you're like, oh, that was really mean.
Like I said, it can be hard to kind of feel where you fit, especially as a biracial student.
People have very polarizing ideas and opinions, and sometimes this can cause a sense of othering because, yes, everyone's entitled to their opinions, but sometimes those opinions more felt like an attack on my person.
And then I would also say, I'm a BW athlete here, so on a team where I'm the only black woman.
Going into the program and being like the only black girl in the program, for real, was kind of hard.
I feel sometimes to be like discounted because of like race, because many people don't associate like smartness or intelligence with black people. In the moment, it was like very confusing because it's like, what do you mean by that? People make it seem that we progress so much as a society, but really it's more hidden now instead of like in your face about it. So yeah.
I felt so less than. I felt like I wasn't worthy enough to be in that classroom.
In those moments, it was very degrading.
I feel it made me feel unsafe, and it was hard to really deal with the situation the way I wanted to. When I went back to my dorm and I thought about it, I was pretty offended because it was just like, she really thought that was okay to say.
Just less than, kind of like I'm not meant to be here.
Almost embarrassed to be me.
That also put, me in jeopardy as well, because it's like if I say something, that's gonna get me in trouble.
And it's like, how do I go about this and correct the situation and teach this person, don't say things like that?
Sometimes their words can start turning into like dehumanizing things and not like recognizing like this isn't just a question or something, it's just a scenario, like this is my life.
But it's very, very hurtful, but also just disappointing, because you don't expect it from people that you trust.
Have you encountered or experienced any form of discrimination during your time as a faculty member or administrator here?
I would say yes.
I have a fear of messing up. Like, I have a fear of, like, not always being perfect, especially because of these microaggressions.
So I think that unconsciously a lot of people underestimate you.
I've always been, taught that you are black and you are beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, your color, you know what I mean, is a part of you, and it brings power, and it brings, you know what I mean, just culture and beauty.
It just made me like, okay, I gotta work 25 times harder just to be seen in this space.
You don't get me, or you have a problem with the way that I look or the way I say certain things, I'm gonna be more of who I am.
That only made me like work harder. I might have felt like that, but it made me work harder because in my mind it was like me versus me.
Because I'm always going to authentically be me, no matter what someone says or what someone does.
But it also like lit a fire under me, and I was like, okay, now I'm determined to show you you're messing with the wrong one. You are not going to dim my fire or make me feel less than in any sense.
If there's not a table for you, you create that table.
At the end of the day, I control who I am and how I want to walk through this world, and that's all that matters. I think I'm always going to be kind of like hypersensitive to like certain things, like just comments that people make or like the way that people talk about things concerning race.
I think it's like everybody knows, just know where you're at, know who you're around. I don't want to say code switching is what you should do, but ultimately it's what you got to do.
Going in, there's a couple other people of color in the political science major, so we were like somewhat formed a support group within ourselves.
How I say it is like, you know how like you can cuss somebody out in a professional manner? Like that. So say things and do things in a professional or in a way that they will understand, so you're not misunderstood or misconstrued.
Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm saying this, but are you hearing me? I'm saying this, but it's like, oh, yeah, I get it, but you don't.
During your time here at BW, have you experienced any form of discrimination in a work setting? And you can just simply say yes or no.
And you said I cannot respond to?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not responding.
Yeah, this is a question that I would love to answer, but due to previous experiences and past workplaces where I've come forward and shared my experiences with microaggressions, with racism, with prejudice, those situations were turned against me and I was let go from coming forward because I came forward and disclosed those things. So I would respectfully decline to share that information as I enjoy my employment here.